right there in front of everyone, while she's trying to keep her composure, her body is already betraying her. It's not about what you whisper in the dark. It's not about the bedroom. It's about the way you move, the way you touch, the way you own the moment when other people are watching. That's when she feels it. That rush, that spark she'll never admit out loud. And if you know what these triggers are, you'll see it instantly: the way her eyes shift, the way she bites her lip, the way she suddenly can't stop thinking about you long after the night is over. So let's break it down. The 3 things you can do in public that secretly turn her on more than anything else, even if she'll never admit it. 1. Owning the moment in front of everyone. There's something electric that happens when a man owns the room. You've probably felt it before walking into a space, maybe a restaurant, a gathering, or even just down a busy street, and instead of shrinking or blending in, you command it. You move with certainty, you speak with clarity, and people notice. Heads turn, not because you're trying to grab attention, but because you radiate presence. Now here's the secret women will never admit. That very moment when you step into public space and own it is one of the biggest turn-ons she'll ever experience. She might not say it, she might not show it outright, but her body reacts instantly. Her posture shifts when she's next to you. Her pupils dilate. She suddenly becomes hyper-aware of your every movement, because what you've just done is show the world, and her, that you're a man worth following. Most men think women want them to be quiet, polite, and blend into the background. Wrong. What she craves, deep down, is the man who can stand tall without apology. The man who isn't rattled by other people's presence. The man who can walk into a crowded bar and make it feel like he belongs there before he's even said a word. That kind of confidence is primal. It taps into the part of her brain wired for attraction to strength, safety, and leadership. Picture this. You're out to dinner with her and another couple. The server asks about drinks, and while everyone else hesitates, you just order yours with calm certainty. Then, instead of passing the menu to her like you're unsure, you casually suggest, "She'll love the risotto," and watch her smirk at how easily you took the lead. She may roll her eyes in mock protest, but inside, her blood pressure just spiked. Because what you've done is claim the moment, not just with her, but in front of others. And women are wired to respond to that. Or imagine being in a crowded place where everyone's jostling for space. Most men shuffle awkwardly, apologizing their way through. But you put your hand on her lower back, guide her firmly through the crowd, and carve out a space like it was meant for the two of you. She won't admit how much that drives her wild, but the heat in her body will. Because in that moment, you're not just a man beside her. You're a man who knows how to move the world around her. Here's why this works. Women live in a constant state of observation. They notice how men carry themselves in public, how they handle pressure, how they deal with others. And when you show her that you can own the moment with calm power, her body interprets it as, "I'm safe. I'm desired. I'm with someone rare." That mix of safety and danger, safety because you're steady, danger because you're bold, is the exact cocktail that turns her on. But here's the catch. It has to feel effortless. If you're loud, obnoxious, or trying too hard to impress, it backfires. That's not owning the moment. That's begging for attention. Real presence is quiet power. It's not about dominating the room with noise. It's about filling it with certainty. The way you stand, the way you look people in the eye, the way you don't fidget, don't rush, don't second guess. That's what draws her in, silently, irresistibly. And here's the forbidden part. The more people are watching, the more turned on she gets. She won't tell you this. She'll never confess it. But being with a man who can hold his ground in public is intoxicating. It makes her feel chosen by someone others would also choose. It makes her feel like she's next to a man who isn't invisible, a man who stands out. And women crave that more than they'll ever admit. So the next time you're in public, don't just move through the world like you're invisible. Own the moment. Make decisions without hesitation. Guide her without asking. Carry yourself like the room is already yours. Because while the crowd sees confidence, she feels something deeper. She feels desire. She feels pride. And she feels that private little spark of heat that she'll never say out loud, but you'll see it later when you're alone. 2. The touch that marks her as yours. There's a kind of touch that isn't about affection. isn't about comfort and isn't even about sex. It's the touch that marks her as yours in public, the one that tells the world, without words, she belongs with me. And here's the secret women will never admit. That kind of touch lights her up inside more than anything else. Think about it. Most men either don't touch their woman at all in public, or they overdo it, clingy, sloppy, holding on like they're afraid she'll slip away. Both kill the spark. What really drives her crazy is the touch that's subtle, confident, and completely intentional. The touch that doesn't beg for attention, but commands it anyway. Picture this. You're walking into a crowded bar together. Music's loud, people are everywhere. You place your hand low on her back, guiding her through the crowd with calm certainty. To everyone else, it looks casual. But to her, it sends a jolt through her body. Because in that one move, you've told her two things at once. You're protecting her and you're claiming her. She's yours and everyone in the room feels it without you saying a word. Or imagine this. You're at dinner with friends. Laughter, conversation, glasses clinking. She's mid-sentence when your hand slides lightly over her thigh under the table, not needy, not groping, just firm enough that she feels your presence. She keeps talking, keeps smiling, but inside, she's spiraling. Her pulse quickens, her breath catches. Her mind splits between the conversation and the fire building under your hand. That's the kind of touch that keeps her up at night. Here's why this works. Women live in their bodies more than men realize. And when you mark her with touch in public, you're speaking to her body in a language words can't reach. It's primal. It taps into instinct, possession, desire. It makes her feel chosen and desired at the same time. And that combination is addictive. But there's a fine line. Too much, and it feels like insecurity. Too little, and it feels like absence. The secret is in being casual, but deliberate. You don't cling, you guide. You don't pot her. You place your hand with intention. You don't make a scene. You let the electricity stay between the two of you. A secret current only she can feel. And here's the forbidden part. She wants other people to see it. Not blatantly, not in a show-off way, but in that subtle, everyone can tell he's in control here kind of way. She'll never admit it, but when you rest your hand on her hip during a conversation, when you tilt her chin slightly towards you in passing, when you brush her hair back and let your fingers linger, she feels owned in the best possible way. And that ownership is a turn-on she can't put into words. Because here's what women secretly crave, a man who doesn't just want them in private, but who silently shows the world she's mine. Not through loud declarations, not through jealousy or control, but through touch. The kind of touch that is protective, confident, and unapologetic. The kind of touch that reminds her, in front of everyone, exactly who she belongs to. So the next time you're out with her, don't underestimate the power of one small move. Your hand on her lower back, your palm resting on her thigh, your arm sliding around her waist as you lean in to whisper something only she can hear. She'll pretend it's nothing, keep her face composed, maybe even tease you for being bold, but later, when you're alone, you'll see what that touch really did to her. Because while every other man in the room just exists, you've spoken directly to her body. You've claimed her without a word. And that silent claim, that's the moment she starts craving you in ways she'll never confess. 3, when you tease her in front of everyone. Here's the dirty little secret. Women love to be teased. Not mocked, not humiliated, but teased in a way that makes them feel seen, wanted, and slightly off balance. And when you do it in public, when other people are around and she has to keep her cool, it's 10 times more powerful. She'll laugh, she'll roll her eyes, she'll act like you're being ridiculous. But inside, she's burning. Most men don't understand the art of teasing. They either go too soft, boring compliments, predictable lines, or they go too harsh. She'll never tell you this. Actually insult Not her. to your face. Neither works. Not to her friends. What she craves Not is even in her late-night texts. Playful confidence. But the truth is, her some of the without moments ever that turn her on the crossing into most cruelty. don't happen in private. And when you do it they in happen front of in others. public. It sends 2 signals at once. 1, that you're not afraid to hold your ground with her. And 2, that you're confident enough to play with her energy, no matter who's watching. Picture this. You're at a dinner party with friends. She makes some comment about how she's the responsible one in the relationship, and without missing a beat, You smirk and say, "Yeah, responsible for finishing all the dessert before anyone else gets a bite." Everyone laughs. She pretends to glare at you, and underneath her act, she's glowing because you just showed her and everyone else that you're quick, confident, and not afraid to poke fun. That kind of teasing makes her feel alive. Or imagine you're out shopping together. She holds up a dress and asks, "Do you like this one?" Instead of giving the safe, predictable, "Yeah, it looks nice," you tilt your head and say, "Depends, are you planning on behaving in it or causing trouble?" She'll roll her eyes, maybe smack your arm, but that spark in her eyes will tell you everything. You flip the switch. She's turned on, not because of the dress, but because of the way you handled the moment. Here's why teasing in public works so well. It forces her into dual awareness. On the outside, she has to keep her composure, can't blush too hard, can't let the people around know how much it got to her. But on the inside, her heart is racing. That tension, that split between what she shows the world and what she feels privately, is pure electricity. And she'll associate that rush with you. But teasing isn't just about jokes. It's about reading her, knowing where her lines are, and pushing just enough to create heat without crossing into disrespect. If she's nervous about something, you don't dig into it. If she's proud of something, you playfully challenge her pride. It's about balance. Teasing is an art, and the man who masters it becomes unforgettable. And let's be brutally honest. Women are drawn to men who can outwit them. Not in a cruel way, but in a way that keeps them on their toes. When you tease her in public, you're showing her and everyone else that you're not intimidated by her, that you see her clearly, flaws and all, and you're bold enough to play with it. That kind of confidence is intoxicating. The best part? She'll replay it later. Long after the dinner, the shopping trip, the casual moment with friends, she'll think about the way you made her laugh and blush at the same time. She'll think about how everyone else just saw a joke, but she knew there was a private spark under it. And that memory will fuel her desire in ways she'll never say out loud. So the next time you're in public, don't be afraid to tease her. Do it with charm, do it with wit, and do it with confidence. Make her roll her eyes, make her laugh, make her feel like she's the only woman in the room who gets this side of you. Because when you tease her in front of everyone else, you're not just playing a game, you're creating a secret flame between the two of you. And that flame will follow her home, straight into the bedroom, where she'll finally admit with her body what she'd never confess with her words. Now you have two choices. You can keep believing what women say they want, or you can start doing the things that actually flip the hidden switches in their minds and bodies. The things that make her remember you long after the night ends. If you want more of these raw, unfiltered truths, the kind women hope you'll never figure out, then hit that subscribe button right now, because this is just the beginning. And drop a comment below. Which of these 3 public triggers do you think she secretly loves the most? I want to know if you've seen that spark in her eyes when you've done it.